Good Sunday morning. You're watching News Channel 3 and I'm Jessica Harthorn. We are continuing to follow breaking news right now out of Allegan County, where police say a pickup truck and an ambulance collided head-on early this morning. News Channel 3's Mara Thompson is live from the scene. Mara?
Jessica, the road just opened a few minutes ago after being closed for 3.5 hours while investigators tried to investigate the scene here on 141st Avenue and Blue Star Highway in Fillmore Township. The crash happened at about 4:30 this morning. A white pickup truck was heading south on Blue Star Highway when it crossed over the center line, hitting an ambulance that was heading north. The ambulance tried to swerve out of the way, but the two vehicles hit head-on. Both the driver of the pickup truck and both EMTs in the ambulance were taken to the hospital. Both drivers were taken to the Holland Hospital and are in stable condition at this time. The EMT that was in the back of the ambulance was taken to Butterworth Hospital in Grand Rapids and is in serious condition with a closed head injury. Police tell us that alcohol was a factor in this crash. We'll bring you more information as it becomes available. But for now in Allegan County, Mara Thompson, News Channel 3.
Mara, thank you. Right now, we're taking a live look in Allegan. You can see it's a gorgeous day already. Head outdoors. Let's head over now to meteorologist Christina Anthony for a look at the forecast. Christina.
And here's to hoping you open those windows overnight because it is a refreshingly cool start. We started things off in the upper 50s. Now, after 2 hours of sunshine at 65 degrees in Kalamazoo, those temperatures heating up quickly. Holland 64, 63 Grand Rapids, and good morning Sturgis 63 degrees. Later this afternoon, temperatures will meet up with the lower 80s, much like yesterday. It's a carbon copy. 82 degrees in Battle Creek, mostly sunny, gorgeous. Beautiful, just switching the words around for Grand Rapids, 82 degrees there, and working with the upper 70s along the lake shore. Waves will be 1 to 3 feet. That lakeshore forecast is coming up in full capacity in just 10 minutes.
Sounds good, Christina. Thank you. New this morning, the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office Marine Division helped to save an 11-year-old boy who was swimming at Holland State Park. This happened yesterday around 5:15. Deputies say that two brothers were swimming and were unable to make it back to shore. When police responded, they found the older brother had been able to swim back to the pier, but the 11-year-old was still in the water, and they say he appeared to be in distress. That's then when a deputy threw out a line to that boy and pulled him back to shore. The boy was treated at the scene and released to his parents. Well, today a group of kids will be receiving a special procession across West Michigan as they head off to a week of fun at summer camp. They will be attending the Great Lakes Burn Camp in Matawan. It's a week-long retreat for kids who have survived a burn-related injury. The camp is now in its 22nd year, and it's free for those that attend. The kids will be at the camp through Friday, partaking in all kinds of fun, from team-building activities to arts and crafts. It's held at the Pretty Lake Vacation Camp, that's in Texas Township. But before the campers arrive this afternoon, they will be getting a special parade on the way. The procession will be taking off from Wings Stadium in Kalamazoo at 1 p.m. and then head to Pretty Lake Vacation Camp off of West Q Avenue. They will be taken by fire engines and hundreds of motorcycling supporters. We are watching West Michigan this Sunday morning. Here's a look now at the top developing stories. A Kalamazoo man is now behind bars, accused of breaking into a home and assaulting the people inside. Kalamazoo public safety officers were called out to the 800 block of Gull Road around 7:45 yesterday morning. The caller told police that a man carrying a gun broke into the home and assaulted them, then took off. Several hours later, two police officers patrolling on Candlewick Drive found the suspect in another apartment and arrested him. The gun believed to be used earlier in the day was also found at that apartment. The suspect is facing multiple charges. Police are still searching for another suspect after a man is stabbed at a local gas station. Authorities were called out to the Speedway near KL and South Drake Road in Kalamazoo County's Ashtimo Township just before 2:30 Saturday. Deputies say the man was taken to the hospital with a serious neck injury and was not being cooperative with police officers. A boil water advisory is still in effect for a portion of Battle Creek, and the affected area is right there on your screen. It's near Morgan, Seagull, and Taylor Avenues. Crews have been working on the water system there, which reduces the pressure. That can allow for bacteria to enter into the pipes. The city is telling residents in this area to boil water for about a minute or use bottled water until further notice. Electricity is part of our everyday lives and something most of us could not live without. But some counterterrorism experts say that the U.S. power grid could become a target. The safety of that power grid is the topic of our next town hall discussion. That's on Monday night at 7 p.m. and you can watch it streaming live at wwmt.com. Checking headlines now across the country and around the globe this Sunday morning. 5 people in St. Louis are recovering from gunshot wounds after being shot Saturday night. Investigators say that this incident happened outside of a bar. They say witnesses inside Fubar nightclub heard gunshots outside. 3 of the victims went inside the bar to ask customers for help. The other 2 went to the hospital. Police say that all the victims were conscious and breathing when they arrived. They say that none of the injuries are life-threatening. Investigators have closed down several streets close to that nightclub. Officials have not released any information on the suspects. Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson is now picking up his first congressional endorsement. GOP Representative Scott Riegel announced in the New York Times yesterday that he would vote for Johnson. Riegel is the second Republican lawmaker to break ranks with their party nominee, Donald Trump. Retiring New York Representative Richard Hanna announced this week that he would vote for Hillary Clinton. A string of other Republicans outside Congress also got behind Clinton in recent days. Music fans are saying goodbye to jazz legend Pete Fountain. A family spokesperson says the famous clarinetist died of heart failure in New Orleans yesterday. Fountain had been in hospice care while fighting numerous health complications over the years. He was best known for his influence in the traditional New Orleans and Dixieland jazz. Some television fans knew through his appearances on the Johnny Carson show. He was 86 years old. The Chicago Police Department's superintendent says that the release of 9 videos and the fatal police shooting of a black 18-year-old is just the beginning of a more transparent process. The videos released on Friday shows police officers last month firing repeatedly at a stolen car as it drives down the street. Later, you can see that the man was handcuffed. Paul O'Neill, who was driving that car after a chaotic foot chase through a residential neighborhood. Superintendent Eddie Johnson says that there are still a lot of questions to answer to build trust between the community and the police department.
Making ourselves better starts with acknowledging where we need to improve. It starts out by rooting out the behaviors that lost the trust of the community that we serve.
All 3 police officers involved have been relieved of their police powers. Since the release of those videos, protesters have been walking the streets demanding justice. A sand sculptor created an amazing tribute to the fallen Dallas police officers. Artist Joaquin Cortez spent nearly 2 weeks creating the sand sculpture, which includes a bald eagle, the Dallas Police Department seal, and the names of all of the police officers. Cortez said that he wanted to do his part to honor the officers.
I'm also working on my craft. I started this 2 years ago, so I'm learning as I go, you know. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together.
Last month's attack left 5 police officers dead and 9 others injured. It happened following a peaceful protest against the police killings of 2 men in Louisiana and Minnesota. Dozens of mothers gather in Kalamazoo to raise awareness about a topic that is sometimes seen as taboo. Coming up next, why they say this worldwide public breastfeeding event is a learning opportunity for everyone.
Waking up to sunshine and 60s. Lots of blue sky over Allegan, telling you when thunderstorms may develop. That's coming up in minutes. Good morning, 8:41. Lots of sunshine out the door in Kalamazoo, waking up to 65 degrees. Northeast winds 3 miles an hour. And of course, the big story, that dew point has dropped into the 50s, making it feel very pleasant outside. Let's take a look at your temperature trend. Maybe you missed out on yesterday. Good news. Today is literally a carbon copy, going to feel and look exactly the same. Before, I'm forecasting this work week warm up, making it to the upper 80s by Tuesday. It feels more like 90. And speaking of temperatures, actual temperatures in the lower 90s come Wednesday and Thursday. That's ahead of a storm system that will eventually bring relief for the upcoming weekend. Temperatures then in the middle 80s by this time next weekend. Of course, it's going to feel stifling for the middle part of your work week. That AC working again. Let's take you outside and show you the view over Kalamazoo. Lots of sunshine there, a few of those high clouds, working with some cumulus clouds later this afternoon. Again, much like your yesterday, kind of growing with the heating of the day, but Storm Tracker's 3-hour loop shows very quiet weather over the past 3 hours, and we'll keep it all day long, really over the next several days, a stretch of dry and pleasant weather until we get to the middle part of that work week and humidity, heat begins building into West Michigan. Here's this afternoon, stopping the clock at 5, temperatures around 80 degrees from Grand Rapids into Kalamazoo. Skies turn starry overnight, and that makes way for the 50s once again tomorrow morning. Sweater weather to start, and then perhaps sweating by Monday afternoon. Temperatures then in the middle 80s, met by mostly sunny skies, and then really heating things up into Tuesday. That's going to feel much different than this weekend, with temperatures in the upper 80s, possibly flirting with the idea of 90 degrees, but it will feel like it regardless when we talk about those dew points, which are now in the upper 50s from Kalamazoo into Battle Creek, 61-degree dew point in Coldwater. Overall, though, less humid than your work week, right? It certainly doesn't feel muggy outside, and it won't for the remainder of your weekend. Waking up to 67 in Three Rivers. Good morning, South Haven, 65, 64 degrees in Holland, and Grand Rapids at 63. Your lakeshore forecast couldn't be better. Maybe waves a little bit choppy on the north side of those piers and structures, 1 to 3 feet there. Air temperatures near 80 degrees and water temperatures for the most part in the 70s. Stargazers, we have something fun to tell you about. The Perseid meteor shower, one of the best and brightest of the year. It peaks next week. Here's the thing, that storm system coincides with that maximum for the meteor shower. So I think that checking it out tonight would be the better idea. Over the next couple of nights, it's your weekend though, so I think tonight might be the better opportunity. By twilight, temperatures in the 70s. It's moonless at midnight, in the 60s then, in the 50s pre-dawn. During the Perseid's peak, it produces more than 50 meteors an hour, up to 75 in some locations. So you can still see quite a few over these next few nights. Thursday, Friday, stormy and hot.
So what would be a good location to see the Perseid meteor shower? Should you
away from lights, away from city lights, the Headlands, it's a dark sky park in northern Michigan.
Yeah.
Great place to see it.
Good advice. All right, thank you. Well, it's a perfect day to head out with your family to Binder Park Zoo for Reptile Weekend. It's one of Michigan's largest reptile events. There's going to be over 100 different reptiles and amphibians from around the world, and you can learn more about the creatures that play a vital role in our environment. This year's event will feature several large species such as pythons, alligators, snapping turtles, and hands-on encounters with Airielle, the zoo's giant tortoise. This event is from 11 o'clock to 6 p.m. Women come together to celebrate motherhood. Yesterday, the big Latch On event took place in cities around the globe, including right here in Kalamazoo. More than 180 women came to Bronson Park to support one another for the event. For 1 minute, mothers around the globe breastfed their children in public, hoping to set a record for the most women feeding their children at the very same time. The event is all about normalizing public breastfeeding and to talk about the benefits.
If breastfeeding is something they choose to do, it's good to kind of help normalize it and get out and let them know it's a normal thing to do.
The host of the Kalamazoo event tells us that not only is this gathering a great way for mothers to support each other, but it's also a learning opportunity. A statue that became known as a frightening sight is finally replaced. Coming up next, what people have to say about the new sculpture that celebrates the life of a legendary TV star. And the first day of the Olympics is now in the books, but new concerns are starting to emerge as the games enter day 2. Welcome back to News Channel 3. Now that the games are officially underway, security around Rio de Janeiro is expected to get even tighter around the sporting venues. But as Jamie Yukas found out, even with police on every street corner, there are still flaws in the system.
From the famed Copacabana Beach to the sports venues at Olympic Park, more than 80,000 officers and military personnel are on the ground in Rio de Janeiro, protecting some 500,000 tourists visiting for the games, like Amory Waters from Wisconsin.
And there's a cop car in every single corner with the lights on and everything like that. So,
does that make you feel safe?
yeah, plus the Army's walking around and driving trucks around all the time, so I don't think there should be any problems.
On Saturday, a bomb squad blew up an unattended bag near the finish line of the men's cycling road race. No one was hurt. There are renewed concerns about security lapses after Brazilian authorities arrested 10 suspects plotting a terror attack.
But so this is a full backpack you wandered right in with.
Yeah.
With a full backpack, journalist Aaron Gordon walked into Olympic Park, no questions asked.
A soldier directed us into a security tent, but there was only one person manning the security tent, and he wasn't even facing the screen that shows you what's inside the bags as it goes through the conveyor. And then we walked through the metal detector, even though, again, there was nobody on the metal detector, and I had my cell phone in my pocket, and it didn't go off, so I'm not even sure the metal detector was on.
On the flip side, Rio residents claim police brutality is on the rise because of the Olympic Games.
They really want to threaten and make poor people stay away from touristic areas.
Just outside Friday's opening ceremony, police used tear gas and rubber bullets to break up protesters of the Games. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Rio de Janeiro.
A town in upstate New York has replaced a statue that became known as Scary Lucy. And that's how people in Celeron welcomed their new statue of actress Lucille Ball yesterday. The star of the 1950s TV series I Love Lucy was born in that area. The original statue of her was put up 7 years ago, but it took so much flack on social media that some people started raising money to get a new one.
This is most definitely a beautiful piece. And even though the other statue is called Scary Lucy or Ugly Lucy, whatever people want to call it, it's still artwork, and not all artwork is beautiful.
The statue is 6 feet tall, weighs 800 pounds, and has 2.5-inch heels, and it's made all out of bronze. The sculptor who created the new Lucy says that the statue showcases her energy and confidence. Lucy died in 1989. Well, the time right now on the clock is 8:51 on this Sunday morning. If you liked yesterday, you're going to love today.
Yeah, and you know you're doing something good if you have a statue after you. By the way, live look over South Haven shows some choppy waves on the north side of that pier and in the channel. Something to watch out for as you take a dip. Today's temperatures starting off in the 60s with plenty of sunshine, eventually making it to the lower 80s farther inland, the upper 70s along the lake shore. It's pleasant still and eventually starry overnight. You can wish upon a few shooting stars. The Perseid meteor shower is happening all the way through late August. We'll join you after this break with more news and another look at that 7-day forecast.
Looking ahead to the top stories we will be following throughout the day right here on News Channel 3. We continue to follow breaking news about a crash involving an ambulance in Allegan County. News Channel 3's Mara Thompson is live there. Mara?
Jessica, right now we know that all 3 people involved in the crash have been taken to the hospital. The road was closed for about 3.5 hours, opening just about a half an hour ago, while investigators cleaned up the scene here on Blue Star Highway at the corner of 141st Avenue in Fillmore Township. The crash happened at about 4:30 this morning. A white pickup truck was heading south on Blue Star Highway when it crossed over the center line, hitting an ambulance that was heading north. The ambulance tried to swerve out of the way, but the 2 vehicles hit head-on. Both the driver of the pickup truck and both EMTs in the ambulance were taken to the hospital. Both drivers were taken to Holland Hospital and are in stable condition. The EMT in the back of the ambulance was taken to Butterworth Hospital in Grand Rapids and is in serious condition with a closed head injury.
We don't take it any different than what a normal accident would be. I mean, all accidents are serious and investigated the same way. Especially a serious accident like this where there's potential for serious injuries.
Police tell us they do believe that alcohol was a factor in the crash. Reporting live in Allegan County, Mara Thompson, News Channel 3.
Mara, thank you. Police say a Kalamazoo woman is kidnapped, then raped by a man that she knows. This is Tori Casey, the man authorities say kidnapped and sexually assaulted a woman on Friday in Richland, putting her in the hospital. Police say they spotted the 29-year-old suspect's car in Kalamazoo and then Casey ran. After a short foot chase, KDPS arrested him around 5 p.m. Friday on Park Street. At this hour, Casey is being held without bond. He is expected to be charged tomorrow. US 131 is now back open this morning after a deadly rollover crash in Kalamazoo. Public safety officers tell us that a Kalamazoo area resident lost control just before 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon near Stadium Drive. The vehicle flipped over and the driver was thrown from the car. Police were on scene for hours trying to determine the cause of that crash. It's a fight for Michigan, and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are headed to our state. Trump is scheduled to speak in Detroit on Monday at noon. Then on Wednesday, Hillary Clinton will be in the Detroit area for a fundraiser and a rally. Of course, we will have live reports as both candidates come to our state right here on News Channel 3. For continuing coverage of Vote 2016, visit our website. That's www.mt.com. All right, so today I mentioned earlier I'm heading to the beach. It's a perfect day for that.
Beach with the kiddos.
Beach with the kiddos.
Yeah, I got to take them with you. A beautiful day for it, Jess. Lots of sunshine today. It feels really nice along the lake shore. Temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. And water temperatures in the 70s too. Farther inland, the lower 80s today looks and feels identical to yesterday. Heat and humidity will be back shortly. I'm forecasting a work week warm-up, bring you to the 90s by Wednesday and Thursday. It will feel even warmer than that because that high heat paired with high humidity. We haven't missed it, have we?
Not too much.
No.
Not too much. So enjoy the day today. And thank you so much for joining us right here on News Channel 3 this Sunday morning. For continuing news, breaking news, and weather coverage, depend on our website. That's www.mt.com.
We'll leave you now with a live look. Make sure you join us again on News Channel 3 at 6:30.